two red apples falling from the same tree. They're all wondering why one skin is green. 'Cause I can't put no coins in your cup. 'Cause I'm still trying to work my way up. And never meant to show you no love. But this can't be about you. This can't be about you. You gotta let me go. Gotta let this bird flow. Make it fast, not slow. It's the path I chose. Feel it in my soul. And I'm so thankful. Oh, 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 oh. You gotta let me go. Gotta let this bird flow. Make it fast, not slow. It's the path I chose. Feel it in my soul. And I'm so thankful. Oh, 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 oh. I'm here by the skin of my teeth. And you can't keep tugging my sleeve. What I make, we can't eat. This just can't be about.
Peace, family, and welcome to another episode Underground Railroad Productions. This show's Brother Rich. I'm back with the living legend, none other than Professor Griff. Welcome back, brother.
Give thanks. Pleasure to be back, Brother Rich. Hope all is well.
Yes, indeed, man. We're gonna have a good talk with you tonight. The people definitely enjoyed the show we did last week with the, I uploaded a couple of days late, but they definitely loved it. I got a lot of emails about it, about the Mark Zuckerberg and the new technology with the brain text and all of that. Thanks for everybody for just showing love, emailing me, letting us know you enjoyed the show. Want to talk to you today, Professor Griff. Mm-hmm. Fox News, we've been talking about corporations lately, and a lot of things been going down with different corporations lately in the news and in social media. Bill O'Reilly recently got fired probably about a week and a half ago. We didn't get a chance to discuss that. But the company he worked for, the network he worked for, Fox News, got hit with a lawsuit alleging racial discrimination and plantation-style management. I mean, the claims was like, wow. When I read some of the stuff that the former and current employees were saying, I was like, Jesus, like, wow, it was crazy. Let me read you some of the things that that is being said. More than a dozen current and former employees are suing, saying they suffered years of racial discrimination. Some of the things they said in their suit was that they were told that their hair was too ethnic. I guess that's something black women go through all the time in corporate America. They were asked to do things like beatbox. When some of the black employees would have news stories about black people and they presented it to the anchorman like O'Reilly, they refused to show them because they felt as though it was too positive of a light for black people. Some of the employees were asked things like, do all of your children come from the same father? Some of the employees said they were forced to arm wrestle each other for their white superiors' amusement. Kind of like everybody said it reminded them of the scene from Django when they was having the Mandingo fights. Yeah. Just one last thing. They said that before they left the job, a lot of the white employees, their white superiors would say, hands up, don't shoot. They would say things like Black Lives Matter or racist and compare them to the KKK, the stuff that they do on TV. It's not surprising that they do off TV. Man, I mean, this sounds crazy to a lot of people, Griff. I mean, when they brought up the arm wrestling thing, people were like, no, this has to be an exaggeration. I was looking at the Young Turks show, and they was like, wait a minute. I mean, like, this can't be real. But you know what, Professor Griff? These same people that say this can't be real and say that this sounds like it's exaggerated, not to come at the Young Turks or anything. I like the piece that they did. But for a person like yourself, Professor Griff, a lot of people feel like your information is outdated. You're pretty extreme when it comes to your views on race in America. You're kind of a race baiter. They may feel as though, you got to move on. It's 2017, Griff. Things have changed. You got to get up to date, Professor Griff. This isn't the 80s no more with Public Enemy. So when things like this happen and things like this that's been happening since Obama, I mean, we've been hearing story after story of just a lot crazy things happening in this country on the news, from the police shootings to the president. since Obama been in office. What do you say to those people that may think you're just out here race baiting, or you're exaggerating, or you say white supremacy every 2 minutes of speaking, and that's your favorite word in your vocabulary? Hearing this story, talk about this, and just talk about, some of the people that may have doubted some of your claims throughout the years, Professor Griff.
Well, I stake, to those people, I stake no claim. I haven't stated any claims. I didn't claim anything. I think when we do this interview, we base what we're saying on facts as far as gathering the information from different news sources. And then in most cases, with some of the stories that we talk about, there are eyewitnesses. Like in this case, with Fox News, all of the black people and this Latino people, Hispanic people, didn't get together and have a meeting and decide to come at Fox, and everyone just kind of made up the story. So whether it's outdated or not, this is what's going on in America, and this is what we talk about. If we pulled every week, if we pulled a different story from the annals of history, and we talked about the black and white issues in America, and we exacerbated numbers, or we did things like exacerbate the tension between black and white every single week, and then we gave no solutions, and then we told people to go arm themselves and do whatever. I can honestly see what the people are saying as far as being a race baiter. I can honestly see what people might be saying in reference to outdated information as far as solutions are concerned. And if the whole idea of racism, white supremacy, that some may feel may come out of my mouth every other sentence or every time I give you an answer, take that up with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing in her 45 years, and she's written one book, and that book was about race, and she taught the same thing for 45 years. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Racism, white supremacy is still stronger than ever today. Yeah. I didn't create the atmosphere at Fox for them to talk about the politics of hair. I didn't create the politics at Fox, 20th Century Fox, who became Fox News, to have black people beatboxing around the office. I didn't create that atmosphere. I didn't create the dynamics under which black people have to work. So for me to come along and to have to witness this and get eyewitness accounts from press conferences and news reports and articles, that's a hell of a thing for someone to say, I'm race baiting. They might want to take that up with Fox. They might want to take that up with the bobbleheads and the alphabet boys, CNN, MSNBC, and the rest of them. So no, I'm not going to angrily and violently take offense to what some trolls or some idiots might have to say about how we're viewing these certain stories. You understand what I'm saying? You and I purposely go out of our way to talk about different kind of things. Mm. And you and I often have conversations about the same shit keeps coming up. Am I right or wrong? The same shit about race keeps coming up, and you and I, in most cases, and we can admit it, we avoid it to some degree. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
When you and I discuss, for the brief moments that we do discuss what we're going to talk about, it's like, damn, only thing in the news is this, that, and the other. All that shit is about race. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for the sake of sounding redundant, you and I stay away from certain stories. That is the reason why it took us so long to have this conversation about this story. So, yeah. So, to answer those people directly or indirectly, until they come up with a better answer as far as the definition on racism and white supremacy, I don't mind if they shut the fuck up. See, I don't mind. Write the book. Give me a better definition than what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing gave us. And let's see if it works.
You know, I thought about her 2 days ago. I was on the internet, and I was on the Yahoo homepage, and they had on the front of the Yahoo homepage they had a piece about the white hate groups all trying to join together to fight to combat their decline in birth rate. The white people's decline in birth rate. When that study came out a little while ago, a lot of white people said it was racist and they didn't like that. I guess some professor came out with saying that the birth rate was declining and they were going to be a minority by 2050. And the first person that made me think of was Dr. Frances Cress.
Right,
when I seen her on the Phil Donahue show, and she said that and she defended herself, and some of the people in the audience was laughing at her like she was crazy, and she was standing on her ground. And I was like, man, that was a wow. You know?
Yeah, but my thing is, how do you, even with that being said, Brother Rich, how do white people get together to fight against the decline of their birth rate? How do you do that? White people, and I'm not going to stake any claims. I'm going to put a challenge out there for white people. Let's see how long white people can stay away from black people sexually. And let's prove Dr. Francis Cress Welsing wrong. She said racism and white supremacy is a local and global system, whether it's local or global, whether it's consciously or subconsciously determined. You understand what I'm saying? There's certain things that are happening in this society right now. While racism and white supremacy is thriving and doing well now that Donald Trump is in office. White people should be on top of their game right now. Racism, all the racist white supremacist groups, their ranks should be filling up with white people. Why aren't they? Why are we seeing more and more commercials and television shows, especially television shows, magazine ads, and commercials and this kind of thing with black and white couples? Knowing and understanding on the deeper level, that's actually committing genocide among white people. You understand what I'm saying? Because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of figure out if black and white people keep getting together sexually, white people will disappear. So that's not Professor Griff. That's actual fact, and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing proved that. Check out the Diop, proved that. And there's a few other people that I could mention actually prove that. White people, if you corner them and get back past the name calling, they show and prove this every single day. Plain and simple. So when you tell me, you look on the cover, on the first page of the Yahoo.com search engine, and white groups are trying to get together to combat the decline in their numbers. Wow.
Yeah.
We ain't got to worry about that. Because Shaliqua and Tamika and the rest of them in the hood having babies, bro. Spanish women are having babies. Mexican women are having babies. Black women are having babies. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this is racism, white supremacy. It's a system. So they will come up with ingenious ways to get rid of us faster.
Now, when you hear a story like this about Fox News, Professor Griff, do you think to yourself, you know, that's what the niggas get for working for Fox, or do you actually feel sorry for these employees that had to go through this at Fox? What's your thoughts when you hear this type of stuff, Professor Griff?
I don't quite use that tone of voice, but I do say to myself, what the hell was they thinking? They knew what they was getting into by going to work for Fox.
You're right.
Fox News had a 20-year history of creating an atmosphere of sexual assault when it came to women, especially white women, but especially women, so-called women of color. That's why I say colored people, but especially black and Latino women. Of course, they knew that Fox News had a 20-year history of creating an atmosphere that was going to be very volatile in reference to the whole idea of the rest of America progressing, but Fox News is actually running full speed on a treadmill. They knew this. They knew Fox News was not going to give up their quote unquote unwritten law and unwritten policies there at Fox News, and they were going to go kicking and screaming if they had to change that white male, blue-eyed, blonde hair dynamic that go on there at Fox. And cracker-ass Bill O'Reilly was the main one that would invite you on and then never give you a chance to speak. You almost got to speak over them and yell in order to get your point across. But then again, it makes you look like you crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they have a team. You ever seen the desk? You seen an aerial view of the desk? Some of the desks they have there at Fox.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They have a glass desk, and under the desk they have computer screens that sit up. Now this is the slick way these devils do that. They invite you on. You got to speak off the top of the dome with no notes. Mm-hmm. But yet they have these glass desks with computer screens up under the desk with a team of people behind the closed door listening to everything and digging up facts and data that comes up on his screen that he can read at any time.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But as brilliant as some of the people are, Jon Stewart and other people that he has had on the show that handcuffed Bill O'Reilly, and he still got caught with his dick in the mice trap. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's having to pay $13 million in lawsuits. Now check this out. There was a discussion among people who were afraid to have the discussion, not only simply because they were affiliates of Fox, but simply because they didn't want to alarm the stockholders and those that own shares in Fox. What were they trying to keep secret? The fact that the payout ended up, these women ended up being paid via increases in their salary. So it wasn't like Bill O'Reilly had to pay the women off for these sexual abuse charges. But what they made it look like, so the stockholders wouldn't see it as them infringement on the agreement, was just increase the women's salary. Give them a bigger office.
Right.
Change the light bulb in their office every once in a while. Change the fucking air freshener in the damn bathroom. And these are the kind of things that they did to pay the women off. And then had the nerve to give him a severance package of $25 million. No, I don't think you heard what I said. $25 million to leave Fox.
Yeah.
So now the stockholders had to come to the table and say, well, what went on that Bill O'Reilly had to leave? And they just kind of wrote it off that, basically early retirement and that kind of thing, so that it wouldn't tarnish Fox's reputation and it wouldn't alarm the share and the stockholders. But there was a few more other people that were fired along with Bill O'Reilly. Now, as white and straight-laced, so to speak, as far as race is concerned, as Bill O'Reilly is, he will not have a problem finding a job somewhere else on someone else's network. You know that.
Yeah.
He's about as cracker can get.
Hello?
Yeah, so the idea of black people knowing what they were up against I sat and watched the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that the Negro started crying.
Mm.
I mean, had to go to work the next day after the press conference. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. No,
because he didn't get fired. No, he joined on to. Now check this out. It was the very dark-skinned women there at Fox that initiated the class action suit.
Oh.
This Negro was the only holdout, the only black man there. Negro-ness at its best, man. Shakespeare couldn't have wrote this shit, man. This Negro was the only holdout, and then when you get in the press conference, you want to cry fucking crocodile tears for Fox News. You Negro, sit your ass down.
Well, Griff, what do you think about, when we talk about the racism that existed at corporations like Fox or, a lot of other corporations, things that happen with police brutality throughout the years. Fox News, they will always come with the rap music has done more damage to African Americans than racism. Geraldo will say it. Sean Hannity will say it. Tucker Carlson will say it. Bill O'Reilly said it. That was like their claim. Whenever you talk about racism, well, what about rap music? Rap music has done more damage than racism. What would you say if you was on their network and they said that to you? What would be your response to that, Professor Griff?
I would simply say, prove it. I would simply say, use all of the rap songs that white people have stolen and appropriated our culture to make these songs. Show me and prove it to me. What rap song are you talking about? And then what I would do is when they did that, I'd write the list of those songs down and I'd compare them to the amount of movies that have done equally as much damage to young people than songs, as though white people haven't made songs that have done damage to white people. Stop that. Stop that. So rap music has done equally as much damage to black people as racism, but yet white people come and appropriate our culture and make songs equally as damaging not only to white people but to black people, but that's never mentioned. Then I would politely ask them to ask those young whites to leave our music alone, leave our culture alone, since it's that damaging. Leave it alone. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I would really truly just want to sit there and listen to the list of songs. So why don't we go over some of them songs, Brother Rich? Where would you start?
I don't even know where I would start.
So the statement, the thought of the statement is idiotic in and of itself. It's asinine. What rap song would they start off with? I'm just curious. Where would we start? What year would we start? With what group or what solo artist would we start with? I don't know, because I thought it was subjective. If I hear a Wu-Tang song talking about cash rules everything around me, green get the money, dollar bill, y'all, I don't see how that's doing damage to anybody. It's alerting me and giving me an idea about my economics and my finance. You understand what I'm saying? I can think of a few other songs, and I'm not saying now. I'm not gonna sit here and say that there's no rap songs that are out there that promote filth, death, and destruction. I'd be foolish to sit here and hypocritical to sit here and say that. But I want to hear the songs that hypocrite ass Bill O'Reilly and the rest of them listen to. Them crackers don't listen to no hip hop. For them to turn around and analyze some of these songs in order to say what effect it has on a young 13-year-old in elementary school. I would say we need to rewrite some of these history books, which is probably doing a lot more damage than a rap song. So yeah, I couldn't be on there answering these questions. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I just couldn't be on. It would have to take me a lot to not get on there and just wild the fuck out. You understand what I'm saying? It's right. Like, look, come on, man. Come on, I always said to Bill. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't even. It's like, I said, spit one some lyrics, Bill. Let me know which song you're talking about, man. And then, as a cultural analyst, I think I can decode and dissect some of these songs to the degree where I can show and prove what some of these artists are talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Most of which, when Spielberg and the rest of them go and sit and write these stories and make these movies, you know, this is entertainment. Now, this stuff is not real. They're telling songs. They're telling stories about what happened. Characters may be real. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
And if we have to do a disclaimer before we tell the story, it's like when you listen to Slick Rick. When you listen to Slick Rick interweave these stories in and out of fantasy and art and reality, it's like, wow, masterfully and beautifully done. We don't know if these characters were real. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So it's like, okay. It's a case of art imitating life and life imitating art. Who was the gentleman that wrote the book, Lies and the Liars That Tell the Lies That They Tell? Al Franken, who clowned Bill O'Reilly, who actually went and did the research and confronted Bill O'Reilly. You have a whole lot of white people that have confronted Bill O'Reilly about his madness. White people know about Fox. You understand what I'm saying? Fox is no saint in the matter. Plain and simple. Bill O'Reilly comes off as though millions, and probably millions of white people do feel like him. But if we can help it, America ain't never going to be great again. Not in the way Bill O'Reilly wants it to be great. Right now, there's a group of white people planning to put Bill O'Reilly back on the air. Trust me. I'm not predicting it. I'm not calling it out. I'm just saying that's that mindset. He speaks for a lot of white people that don't have the voice, and he says things that a lot of white people will catch an harassment suit on the job if they said the same thing Bill O'Reilly said on his show.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think, one of the things Fox was known for, they was known for getting a black person, some may say a coon or a black puppet, to trash black people. They're known for doing that. Get somebody black to trash black people. At this point in 2017, with coon becoming such a popular word, do you think that tactic is obvious at this point, or is it still effective in white corporate America? Or entertainment,
it's both outdated, and they still use the tactic because there are still some people out there that still want to be seen and heard, and they want that proverbial rub on the head and pat on the back from their slave masters' children. Plain and simple. You will always, I'm going to say always with a capital W in the middle, you will always find a nigger and a Negro that will go on Fox News and sit up there and disrespect another black person openly on Fox News. You will always find it. Hell, you catch me on a fucking off day, I might be on Fox News talking about bend over Coon Carlson. You understand what I'm saying? But I would think I wouldn't do that just to appease the white people at Fox. No, not at all. We have to be a lot more strategic and intelligent when dealing with these different kind of devils that we got to deal with, man. Some white woman sent me a message, and she said, I noticed that when you want to rile black people up, you use the word cracker. I said, well, I didn't invent the word, and it's not a derogatory term. It's actually a title that white people gave themselves.
Right, right.
So if you're worried about the raspiness in my voice, then you need to not listen to me, because after about 30 minutes of speaking, if I don't drink some water, that's what you're going to get. And if you're mistaken in intellect with passion and how I can kind of infuse the two, you might not want to listen to my ass at all. Truly. There's nothing I can do about that. Plain and simple. I went through the public education educational system in Roosevelt Junior Senior High School. I went to all of Roosevelt schools: Theodore Roosevelt, Roosevelt Junior Senior High School, Washington Rose, and right across the bridge, down the street, around the corner, across the 4-lane highway there now, I went to Nassau Community College for about 2 weeks. Ripped up the financial aid papers and told them people to kiss my black ass. I'm not paying y'all to miseducate me. You out your mind.
Right.
But reluctantly, they wanted me to come back and come speak to the students at the school. Yeah, write that check. Because you know you brainwashing and you programming these children up here at this school. And you needed somebody that didn't go through this system to come speak outside the context of the system. So, old tactic, Brother Rich, but sad but true, it's still going to work in 2017. I mean, there's some Negroes that want to out-Negro the Negro, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm talking about if they can get away with it after they finish saying what they're saying before Fox News before Bill O'Reilly's show go off the air, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them niggas bend down and say, "Mammy." You understand what I'm saying? They want to out-Negro the Negro, man, for real.
Man. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's harder? I mean, with these black people that work at Fox, or brothers and sisters who get these jobs at corporate America, and they make what they would call a good amount of money, is 6 figures, and they got a lot to maintain at home. They got their kids in a good school because they want their kids to get a good education, because they don't want to put their kids in the public school system. Their wife works, they work, they have a babysitter, to help take care of their kid so both of them can provide for their household. And something like this happens, is it harder for them to quit their job than for somebody that makes $20,000-$30,000? When you see somebody making $100,000, is it like, damn, I know it's harder for that person to quit than the person making $20,000? Or should it be? Should all of us feel the same way when we're faced with something, discrimination or sexual harassment at the job? Does the more money you make it harder, or should it make it harder?
Well, it's not necessarily how much money you make. It's your particular lifestyle.
Okay.
Some people spend as much as they make. So what about them? But that was one of the reasons I think the Negro was crying on the press conference. He made a statement at the press conference talking about, me and my wife have been poor before. We could be poor again. Why are you taking on that mindset? Just because the slave master's children let you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn what job I got fired from. I never had that mindset. You understand what I'm saying? When I got fired, it put some fire under my behind. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That I'm not going to be poor. I don't give a damn. Matter of fact, probably in the rest of my little life, I probably will never have a job with white people. But I am not going to be poor. Trust me. Not by a long shot. Not at all. We're going to eat regardless. So for him to get on national television and to say that him and his wife can be poor because you lost your job, a job that my mom, this is him now, I'm paraphrasing. My mom said, you'll do good at Fox. You can bring something to Fox, and Fox will bring something out of you. That Negro got on television and said he did whatever he had to do to work 1,000 times harder to show and prove to the people at Fox, and they still shitted on him. Damn. So for you to be up in the press conference crying, talking about you'll be poor again, Negro, please, I hope your children ain't watching this goddamn press conference. I wouldn't even want my children to see their dad crying because I lost a fucking job. That white people was treating me with subhuman standards at the job. Hell no. Surprised he didn't get a text message from his son saying, "Dad, man, the fuck up." He crying over the motherfucking job. Oh, shit. You to come up on the motherfucking block where I'm at. You need a job. Shit. Crying for no damn job. Shit, you found that one, you can find another one. Let me tell you something. If nothing else, the people in my family know how to put some nickels and dimes together to survive. We survived this long. Mm-hmm. One thing I'm not going to do, man, is cow down in the face of my open enemy to let my children see me with that weak, pathetic-ass position, begging some cracker to stay on his job. The hell with that, man. Mm-hmm. Nah, not doing it. You talk about racial disparity in the pay scale, and you begging to keep that job? You talk, like you said at the beginning of this, they got their hair talked about. They was forced, they're not forced, but they was told to beatbox. They were asked if their children are all by the same man. Do they all have the same father? Force an arm wrestle for entertainment for white people? That's like dance, nigga. Let me see you dance. Yeah. Discrimination based on breast cancer survivor status? So depend upon whether or not, how do we know you're surviving breast cancer? Your breasts are not even big enough. This is one of the statements.
Right. Crazy.
Wow. For real? And that's where you want to work? Okay. No, I would think not. I would think not. And the white lawyer, yo, he's cocky and bold with it, man. He's like, yo, I wish Fox News would retaliate on some of my clients. I'm ready for them. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And statements like that, and I'm not being an apologist now, don't get me wrong. It's statements like that that let people know that we do have allies out there. You understand what I'm saying? And the statements that we make may be blanket statements right across the board about white people, but who has time to figure out which ones are with us and which ones are against us? Show and prove, and let's stand up for what's human and what's right. You understand what I'm saying? We don't want you to wave a red, black, and green flag and wear a black beret to the office. You ain't got to do all that. Go all out your way to show and prove that you're with us. Wear the Black Lives Matter T-shirt to work. You ain't got to do all that. That's extra. But in the face of Fox News being hit with a new racial discrimination lawsuit, allegations, with being accused of plantation politics style management at the job, who the hell can't see that? So there's white people that's lining up that was waiting for this. And now they say it's copycat lawsuits they're going to be put in. No, this is a long line of white and black people that you've discriminated against, whether sexual discrimination or racial discrimination, that's coming back to bite your ass. Fox. Plain and simple. Right. Plain and damn simple. Call it for what it is.
What do you think, Professor Griff, when we have blacks that go through these experiences when they get these corporate jobs and they get told things like, to beatbox or to arm wrestle or whatever they may go through in Hollywood. Some of them may get touched in Hollywood on the director's set, the director's chair. They may get molested or something like that may happen in order for them to get a movie role. Is this part of the process that desensitizes these celebrities and these people on TV from what's happening in Black America in general? It's like because they went through some serious shit, they don't want to hear about what we going through because they had to go through so much to get where they got. That's all they can see. They can't see that they're portraying a negative stereotype or they're doing something that could negatively impact their race. So is this part of the break it down process to traumatize these people, Professor Griff?
Of course it is, but those same individuals are thinking as individuals. They're not thinking as a collective group. Mm-hmm. You have Jewish people there that think collectively. You may have other races, Italians, that think collectively. But we don't think collectively like that. We think in terms of ourselves. We think in terms of, I don't get what I got to go through. I'm holding on to my job. Mm-hmm. White people just don't be white people. You understand what I'm saying? Protest for what? That's why it took this dude so long to join the rest of the black people. They were looking at this Negro like, what you waiting on, dude? Unless they giving you some preferential treatment, what you waiting on?
Right.
So they said every time that they brought up a black story, like you said earlier, that talked positively about black people, they wouldn't air it. They wouldn't air it at all. Plain and simple. So it's one of those kind of situations where once they get you in those positions, they make it seem like you have so much to protect. And be thankful that we gave you this job. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Don't you go out here messing it up for yourself. The other black people don't care nothing about you. Mm. And if you quit or get fired, there's another black person that we could put right in your place. Mm. This is the society we live in. This is not Professor Griff conjuring up race baiting kind of situations every week with Brother Rich. This is what's going on in America. But because we mention it, people think we exacerbate the tension between white and black people. No, I've often said that I think one of the things that Donald Trump is accused of is the whole idea of pressing the reset button on race relations in America. He set us back 10 years. I'm thinking, in my humble observation, that we were making some kind of progress as far as black people being waking up and being awoke to what's really going on in America. Everywhere I go, people are like, and you get it like I get it. Yo, man, thank you, Brother Rich, man, because if it wasn't for y'all for bringing out so-and-so, I would have never known, yada, yada, yada. Y'all changed my way of thinking about things. You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the show, at the end of the interview sometimes, when I hang up the phone with you, I do think about some of the things that I said and who it might affect. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Should I have used the term cracker? Or should I have used the term nigger? Or should I? And when I think about it, I said to myself, then I go back on social media, it's the same language that people use every single day, but want to get all fucking sanctified and holy when it comes to the words you and I use. Okay, out of here with that. So I told you about the woman that hit me up, but she was shocked and surprised at the language that I was using. I'm supposed to be a professor. Read my motherfucking bio. Shit. Desperate times call for desperate measures. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, I can admit, when I've seen not so-called, but presumably righteous men, be they Muslim, Christian, or whatever, the first time I heard curse words coming out of their mouths, I was really taken aback. You know, I've never heard Dr. King say hell and damn, and you understand what I'm saying? But when I heard some of those kind of interviews and some of those kind of talks, without being in front of the camera, so to speak, I was like, wow. In his latter years, I was like, oh, okay. With, you understand what I'm saying? I know that's not them in totality. I know that's not the kind of individuals they are. But come on, man, you read the daggone Bible. God gets angry. You understand what I'm saying? But he destroyed cities. I ain't got that kind of problem. A few curse words may slip out and people get kind of, taken aback. And these are the same self-righteous holy rollers that be cursing up a storm. Will tell you what you're doing on your Facebook page, but you go to theirs and they doing some crazy stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Right. I mean, obviously hypocritical people making outlandish, crazy statements. So I'm saying, in a nutshell, that if the people would understand that you nor I do not create this kind of stuff that we talk about, and nor do we have a thing where we talk about the same thing every week. We scan the horizon for news stories that we think may be interesting for us to talk about every single week. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes Wednesday at 5 o'clock, yeah, you and I both are like, shit, ain't nothing out there, man. It's like, what the hell is going on? You understand what I'm saying? People don't understand that. So it's not like we go on Wednesday night at 11 o'clock and make stuff up. This is what's out there. And sad but true, when you comb through the newswire services, I'm speaking outside of the Associated Press and Reuters. I'm not talking about the ones that's controlled by them. I'm talking about some of the other ones. Even when you go outside of that, we still find the same degree of racial kind of thing that's going on in the world. The whole idea of the young sister wearing the dress as a protest, when she put the dress on, the prom dress, with Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, and the rest of them on the dress. You saw that? Now, you and I could have pulled that story, sent some information to one another, and talked about that for an hour. You understand what I'm saying? It still falls into this racial environment, under this racial category. And then you and I will still get written off as race baiters. Now, I'm not baiting white people or baiting black people into an ultimate confrontation with one another. That's not what I do. I'm sorry. Primarily, if I had to define what I do, I think what I would have to say, I'm trying to educate people and give them enough information so they can, A, know themselves, and then, B, master themselves. They don't need Griff. If I could just plant the seed and get them to understand that we are all God's children of the Most High God. I don't control anybody's destiny.
Indeed.
So, just to answer those people directly, race baiting is not what I do.
I got one last question for you, Professor Griff. In terms of what we see going on in America and race relations, and in terms of us starting, being more independent in terms of seeing the way other communities behave, like the Asian community, whether you go to Chinatown, the Jewish community, whether you go to their community, Hispanic community, if you go to Washington Heights in New York, these communities, they take care of each other. They own stores, they own businesses, and we often tell black people that that's ultimately the direction we need to go in to be, and we use Black Wall Street as a reference. But it seems as though assimilation is of more importance when it comes to the black race. With other races, assimilation isn't that important. They'll be a part of America, but they still have their own community within America. With us, it seems as though assimilation is the top priority amongst a lot of black people. Just to close out with, considering everything we've been going through, everything we've talked about throughout the years with the corporations, whether it's Pepsi, whether it's United Airlines, dragging customers off, whether it's Fox News or whatever, what would you say to those black people that have assimilation as their top priority versus the other races who think more of a race-first type of philosophy?
Well, Marcus Garvey, if I can remember, said to us, race first. And then I think Tony Martin came behind him and reverberated that particular spirit and vibration among us as a people. And then there were other people like Oshawa Kwesi and other people, Professor Jeffries and Professor Smalls and other people that have asked the question, what is wrong with race first? Do you understand? I said in an interview today that I did with this brother that's making this film, he was asking the question about race relations and black and white people getting together as far as getting married and having families. I said, brother, why don't you try an experiment? Nowhere on the planet can you get a rabbit and a group of squirrels and a group of rabbits together and put them in the same cage, and they'll end up having babies with one another. It's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find a squirrel trying to kick it to a rabbit, man. It's just not going to happen. So then we went on to talk about race relations, and then we went on to talk about, well, what if you did see these particular things happen? I said we need to really look into it to see what went wrong, not what's right about it, what's wrong about, and that's not race baiting. That's not race baiting, because we're not taught in the home. We weren't taught in the home the beauty of what it is to be black.
Right.
But because we weren't taught that, we had to find things and find reasons to want to celebrate and be black. So we went out and we did everything that was non-black. Now, I'm talking about the root of our survival.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We didn't do things that were African, now did we?
No.
No, we didn't do that. Simply because if we got caught on the plantation speaking our mother tongue, they cut our tongue out, cut our genitals off, sell us down the river, beat us, or lynch us. Am I right or wrong? Shit, 400 years of that, I would never even use the word black. I wouldn't wear a black pair of shoes and black underwear, nothing. Are you following me? Because they made black so very painful that every time we interacted with it, we get punished for it. So subsequently, we want to assimilate and interweave ourselves into the fabric of white America, so much so we become invisible and we accept statements like this. Oh, from our white friends. Oh, you know something, Leroy, I don't see color. That's an insult. That's not a compliment. Well, why don't you see color? I see your white ass. I'm not going to make a foolish statement like that. Jasmine Turner, I believe, on Instagram, posted this. While we were being told to go to college, get a corporate job, dress like, walk like, talk like white, the Vietnamese were opening nail salons, of course, in the hood. The Koreans were opening beauty supply stores, of course, in the hood. The Chinese opened restaurants, of course, in the hood and at the flea markets. The Arabs and the Indians opened gas stations and hotels. The Jewish opened record labels, made money strictly off the backs of black folks, and they dress like, walk like, talk like themselves. Sometimes I feel we've been played, man, because we've been taught not to be ourselves. I want to thank Miss Soleil for that bit of information. I really appreciate that. She read that to me the other day. You understand what I'm saying? And I thought it was so profound.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because we've been taught to act other than our own selves to make progress in America, to assimilate in and to be like someone else, while everyone else is coming and getting rich off the backs of black people by being themselves. Let me prove that. And I need you to answer this question directly from me, Brother Rich. You know how many thousands of people right now as we speak have ordered food from Chinese stores and Chinese restaurants?
Oh man.
Tell me give me a Chinese dish. Tell me what Chinese food is.
Chicken fried rice.
Chicken fried rice. I thought we were the one that ate chicken the most. Chicken fried rice is not Chinese. You know how often my mom fried some damn chicken and ate rice? That's not Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
French fries don't come from France. French toast don't come from France. Those dishes primarily sprung up out of black people's ability to be innovative and want to survive. So with a little bit of lard and 2 pieces of bread and some government cheese, we made grilled cheese sandwiches, man, to survive, bro. That ain't nobody but us. Leftover scraps that you can scrape up the bone of a chicken and you mix it with some rice, that's chicken lo mein, bro. You understand? When we give it to the Chinese, no, that's us. That's us. Ain't no such thing as Chinese food. That's something that Chinese people mix together in them back rooms with them rat-infested damn restaurant, they chop that stuff up for us. That ain't no damn Chinese food. Chinese people don't even eat that stuff. They order out. You understand what I'm saying? They don't eat that stuff. That's for us to eat. Why? Because it's ours anyway. The Chinese just came and watched how we got down. That's all. Plain and simple. But anyway, I know some of the listeners going to think that this is Professor Griff on his high horse again. Race baiting, talking about Chinese now. Come on, stop that, man. Stop that. You notice in the news, the idea now of racial discrimination done shifted since the Asian dude got drove off the plane. They ain't talking about black and white no more. They're talking about Asian now and white.
Mm-hmm.
Asian lives matter. Kung Fu lives matter and shit. I don't know, but it ain't about black and white people no more.
Mm.
Black people, if we don't stand up and speak truth to power and inform our own people on what's going on with us and come up with viable, practical, realistic solutions to some of the things that affect us on a daily and consistent basis over these next 4 years, we're going to lose. I'm not talking about a regular old taking an L. You wouldn't let the 6 and 7 man off the bench to help the squad. I ain't talking about that kind of lose. I'm talking about lose to the point where some people lose their lives for the rich.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of losing we're going to do. Plain and simple, man. For real. But anyway, I really appreciate you, man.
Indeed, Professor. On that note, let the people know what you got coming up and leave them your contact info, brother.
Well, this weekend I'm going to be in Norfolk, Virginia, at the House of Consciousness. Now, the people have seen me there at the House of Consciousness before. This is nothing new because they've seen video and that kind of thing. But they promised they're going to do something different at the House of Consciousness. It starts at 3 o'clock. They're going to do this lecture-style sitting Professor Griff on the couch so that the audience can question me. Because a lot of times, I don't do Q&A. But they asked me to sit on the couch so the audience can have this intimate kind of thing with me so we can sit down and we can talk solution. And I agreed to it, so I said, okay, cool. But the House of Consciousness is in Norfolk, Virginia. The program starts at 3 p.m. Of course, there's going to be vendors in the building and food and a DJ. It's at 633 West 35th Street in Norfolk, Virginia at the House of Consciousness. I'm also going to be on May 6th and 7th, I'm going to be in Capitol Heights, Maryland, at Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant, the 6th and the 7th, man. Then I also agreed with them to do a Professor Griff brunch on the 7th. People can come, order their tickets online, and people can actually have their meal built into the ticket. So you can come in and buying and purchasing the ticket. You can get in and you can eat brunch, and we can literally sit and break bread for real. Which is a beautiful thing. It's a different kind of format, which I embrace. It's a beautiful thing when we can come and we can do things different and invite our people in, because a lot of people are not accustomed to that sitting at a lecture kind of thing. You understand what I'm saying? Listening to someone speak for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't mind it. You understand what I'm saying? I don't mind it simply because I've sat at the feet of elders, and I didn't mind. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of people like a different kind of format, and that's a beautiful thing. So that's what we're doing. It's brunch with Professor Griff Sunday, May 7th at 11 a.m. at the Everlasting Life. Let me give you that address. It's Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant, 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland. And that starts at 11 a.m. on that Sunday, May 7th. Ticket price includes full brunch, Q&A, and autographed copies of the latest book, Symbology. All right? And that's all at the vegan restaurant, Everlasting Life. The day before that is the Solstice Bazaar at Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant, Saturday, May 6th from 12 noon to 6 p.m. There's going to be clothing, jewelry, soaps, books, CDs, DVDs, art, stationery, oils, herbs, and more. All kind of vendors are going to be in the building at Everlasting Life. All right? So they can register. I think there's a registration website is MaySolsticeBazaar.eventbrite.com. MaySolsticeBazaar.eventbrite.com. But the address is 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland, May 6th and 7th. 12 noon on Saturday and 11 a.m. on Sunday with Professor Griff. After that, who the hell knows where I'm gonna be, man? I got a graduation to go to and a wedding to go to and a few other things to go to. So I'm here with Miss Soleil celebrating life, man. Really appreciate you though, Brother Griff, and I appreciate everyone that went to www.professorgriff.me and press the support and donate button. That whether you sent $1, a dime, or a food stamp, I really appreciate you. You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed, really indeed. I want everybody to go to the website, ProfessorGriff.me. Show support to Professor Griff and everything that the brother does. This is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad Radio, Serious Minds, and we're going to see you next week, family. Peace.
Peace.
You red apples falling from the same tree. They're all wondering why one skin is green. 'Cause I can't put no coins in your cup. 'Cause I'm still trying to work my way up. And never meant to show you no love. But this can't be about you. This can't be about you. You gotta let me go. Gotta let the bird flow. Make it fast, not slow. It's the path I chose. Feel it